Wow. So you telling me basically what appeared to be something that was set up for black or HBCUs in the South, agriculture and all of that, is really something that's being, this whole matching one-to-one program, we not matching. It's not matching.
Well, the thing is, they didn't set it up they set it up for their children, but you remember back then, segregation was still in effect.
Okay.
So none of these schools that I named was historically black.
Right.
But those institutions, because segregation still existed, even though black people were working and paying taxes, we couldn't go to those schools. So there comes the expansion of the Morrill Act. That's why there's two dates. There's 1862 and there's 1890.
Okay.
So when they talk about HBCUs, they usually refer to them as 1890 universities.
Okay.
That's because the money that came to start those universities, the Morrill Act, they expanded it in 1890 and said, okay, these cats should be able to get educated just like the other white people would be getting educated, but y'all are practicing segregation and y'all won't let them go. So y'all either got to do one or two things. Y'all got to either let them go to those universities, or y'all got to set up a separate system to where they can set up universities of their own.
Okay.
So that's where they start. They said, okay, well, we don't want them going to school with us. We'll give them money to set up their own schools. And that's where your land grant 1890 HBCUs came from.
Okay, so when we got the land grant, so that's what's considered the second Morrill Act.
That was the second Morrill Act, but it fell under the code and the functioning of the first Morrill Act. There's no two separate payment plans. There's just one plan that everybody falls up under. So if you have a state that had one, let's say you take Ohio. We had one land grant university in the state of Ohio, that was Ohio State. After 1890, they established Central State.
Central State, okay.
So what the law says is that from the time that another land grant university got established, now the state has to split those one-to-one proceeds, that money that's coming from Congress and that money that's coming from the state. They match it, put it in there, and then that money is supposed to be split right down the middle, evenly, equitably, between the land grant universities that you have in your state. So Central State should be getting just as much money as Ohio State is getting. That's where the lack of funding is coming from. That's where these HBCUs ain't getting their fair due and a fair cut of the pie.